Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Harak HaKodash, the oneness of the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us His 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be to you, hopefully elect out there, preaching out this word with all truth and sincerity. Alright, Shalom. Another day, being instant in season, out of season, doing these videos, what's it called? Walk and talk lessons. All right, brothers doing the sit downs, doing camp on Saturday now. And as a matter of fact, it's 9/11. That's why they pull out the American flags. But I'm gonna get into it. But I got the Zon Durbin Bible Dictionary, which is a really good dictionary, man. It tells you a lot of information. That's the thing, man. See, Jake, love, not paying attention. They're our nation is the only nation out of all nations, man, that are not learned. Alright, you tell a Jake about something serious and a serious matter, man, they start bugging out and they complain. But the only things they are learned at is Slack it, alright. It is video games and stuff, alright, like the game, or so on and so forth. Just use of devices. They're so caught up in that. But they love going to the Bible, to the Urban Dictionary, but they don't really search up words. They read the Bible to their own context, and that's infuriating. But at the same time, man, you can't get mad at Jay, because the ways of man, the goings of man are the Lord. The Lord ordains this. But there's a definition of the word burden. The word burden, because this burden is His truth right now. Burden is that which is laid up one in order to burden is that which is laid upon one in order to be carried. The word translates 8 different words in the Old Testament and 3 in the New Testament. When it is literally used, it is easily understood and needs no special comment. And this is the thing with Jake, man. Alright, and the rest of these heathens, they believe that the scriptures are only literal. Alright, they use it to their own context and blah blah this and that. This because they don't got the spirit. But the scriptures, we all know for a fact, are metaphorical, are literal, figurative, and parabolical. So as a definition on burden, it says figuratively, it is used in the sense of responsibility, because it really is a responsibility. When you were called to this thing, and now you have to keep doing videos, being a messenger, a spokesperson, because that's what a prophet is, a spokesperson of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And Yahushai commanded us, to preach His name, preach His gospel, or preach the truth. Whoever, what's that one word? Admit my name, the Lord ain't dealing with them. It is a responsibility. It is true to the job, a big, important job for the prophets out there. We all have to go out every single day doing videos, especially now more than ever. But anyways, it also says, or of a sorrow, because at the same time it is a sorrow. Or what did it say in Proverbs, I believe it was, or Ecclesiastes, wisdom, wherein there's much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrow. Really paraphrasing right there, but that's the whole point right there, because it's truth. When you eat the whole raw, it being sweet and bitter, sour, spicy, hot, cold, medium temperature, room temperature. All right, when you eat the whole raw, you start getting scared. Because this truth, man, is deadly serious and it's a dangerous thing. If Bug Out finds out this truth, man, you can't. I don't even know, man. That's why we gotta always glorify and praise the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because He gave us His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And it also is, but by far the most frequent use in the OT is oracle. And in this case, the Spirit getting on us, man. The Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. The oracles, right there. That's how we got this truth. These are generally dooms, and that's true. All right, because as it says in the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, the burden of Babylon. Probably paraphrasing right there, because we're shaking that hand and Esau knows up and they call it treason, especially on this day. Brothers out here, prophesying, you know, out there going to the highways and hedges on this day, 9/11. You know, it's really treason right there, and it could really backfire, man, if you ain't being dealt with by the Lord. Or you got these bug-eyed Israelites getting arrested for no damn reason while they're out there, you know, just cutting people left and right. But yeah, man, this is a doom. All right, we're dooming America, you know, by way of these scriptures, by way of these prophecies. You know, all right, we're telling you this place is gonna be burnt down with fire. All right, you know, the economy is collapsing right now. Well, what Esau want to do is switch it up, you know. That's why he's pushing out the agenda the way he is. I saw this post, all right, by one of the brothers, and it was a beautiful picture, all right, depicting a whole, you know, a whole categories from the trillionaire shadow government all the way to the billionaire disciples, them being Bill Gates and Zuckerberg and these other guys, and below it's the way they're pushing out their agenda, which their agenda right now is to population control and reduction. All right, going back into back in the day, what you had was Bill Gates. Before this jab came about, you know, before this COVID-19, what do we like to call it, you know, he talked about how he talked about in the documentary, talking about that there's too much population going to the Georgia headstones over there in Georgia. You know, they got the stones right there, and they say 500 million people population max, and then this and that. You know, the way to rule the government, the way to rule the world. And he was talking about how there's too much, complaining about how there's too much people in this earth. And you check the statistics, all right, there's about at least 8 billion people on the earth. But all of a sudden now, ever since last year, all right, you have these same very people change it up and switch it up on you, saying, oh no, we want to save the people by way of a jab. You know, that's why they're pushing it the way it is. You know, digressing back, you know, their agenda is also on the a digital currency, and we see that, you know. All right, these guys know these guys out here, these woke people, all right, people that at least take the time to understand something certain. All right, they know that charagma, you know, which means cutting, all right, in the Greek. They know that Rev 13 and 16, I believe it was, is going to that charagma thing, you know. But the thing is, they don't properly understand it. All right, you see digital currency coming about, but if you look into these articles, man, they all read the same thing. All right, that being that not only can it detect the COVID-19, C19, you know, Crown Vicky, whatever, Victoria, it's also a wallet, you know, a digital wallet containing your RFID ID and this and that, you know. You know, they also want to get into a new world order. You know, that's the whole point for them, you know, to rule the whole world. All right, so the way they're pushing out the you know, is by funding what's it called, reactions. All right, that's why you had the what's it called, you know, that's why you got these mandates, the way they be pushed up. All right, even Biden right now, you know, recently, about like 2 days ago or so, pushed out a new mandate, and now people are complaining, man. Civil unrest out here, you know. 100 employers with more than 100 workers, man, they're gonna have to, you know, force it because of their health, you know. But it really ain't because of that. All right, I was even discovering, you know, these jabs give certain side effects, and what else? You know, people have been, you know, with that barcode scanner, they check it out, and then it actually clicks to the thing. All right, you don't know, it could have nanoparticles. All right, 5G, you know, connecting to it. You know, it's a whole operative system that they've been, you know, messing around with, and by secrecy, you know, discreetly. You know, and then the George Floyd thing, man. You know, that's how the people got riled up. And not only that, but the way to you know, stop it, right? Because what comes out of those reactions is riots and lawlessness. That's why you got uproars in the people, you know, people complaining. All right, you know, all right, before it wasn't like this. All right, but now you're starting to see this, you know, citizens complaining against the federal government. You know, and the way they're gonna solve, you know, the solution is by, you know, mandating that charagma thing, you know, that MOTV, which you can't even use code names anymore because practically, you know, the overused ones, because you know Esau's upping his game up by way of the detection system in YouTube, so they could detect words now and take it down even more. You know, and you know they're pushing out that Charagma, giving you a digital currency, a full digital currency, no more dollar, man, no more dollar. And not only that, but right, they're pushing out the New World Order. See, and he knows he has a short time, man. That's why he's doing it the way he is. But we all know, man, he ain't gonna win. You know, so these are generally doing is because, all right, the scriptures are against that, and the scriptures, you know, the scriptures of the Bible, you know, they're from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, so the Lord is against that. All right, Yahweh by Yahushai, they're both against that. You know, and it goes on to say, though in Zechariah 12:1, something else it doesn't say. In Malachi 1:1, the word is used simply for message, and that's the thing. That's what it is as well. You know, this truth is a message. You know, a doom, a responsibility, a sorrow. You know, I just want to get that out, but nevertheless, man, you know, we're getting into some prophecies. You know, all right, because of what's been going on. You know, people, civil unrest. That's the thing, man. All right, people, you go on TikTok, man, and you start seeing these videos of these, you know, normalized guys out here mimicking them, and yeah, because Biden is a joke, man. Biden is a joke. All right, and people are, you know, they're going against them. Even the governors. All right, you have that one governor, Ron DeSantis. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, but you know, you had a little ongoing war around there, you know, and you know, these people are wanting to fight against the federal government. You know, anyways, this is the book of Isaiah. It's like Isaiah 19th chapter. All right, because you know we're really what's it called? We're really broken records to this thing. You know, a lot of us repeat the same things over and over again because it must be heard. You know, that's the whole job, man. All right, brothers done, you know, brought out the whole Bible itself by way of these scriptures, man. We keep bringing it out all over and over again. Isaiah 19th chapter, verse, I'm gonna start at verse 1 actually. The burden of Egypt, you know, and another burden of it is the destruction of this place called America, you know. You know what the scriptures do is code names, so it's called Babylon the Great, you know. All right, it ain't gonna say it actually properly, you know, that by ancient terminology and by way of the fact that these prophets, man, they never knew what the titles of these certain things in the future were called, you know. The Lord revealed these things unto them, but they never properly understood them. Right? They never heard, you know, understood the names. So the burden of Egypt, you know, Egypt is a spiritual, is basically America, very spiritually. All right, because it says in the book of Revelation, 11th chapter, verse 8, which actually I'm gonna get that out, you know. Like I said, man, we're broken records. That's the whole point right there, man. Be a broken record. Alright, so nevertheless, I'm getting it in. Slovakia. It's kind of windy right now, but let's get it. You know, no matter the circumstance, we're out here, you know. Alright, we work, we go to school, but you know, we sacrifice our days for this truth, man. Sacrifice our weekends. So the book of Revelations, verse 11, Slovakia, chapter 11, verse 8. And their bodies, so like, and the dead bodies, you know, there's dead bodies go back to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, you know, because these people, you know, Jake out here stuck in darkness. They're really talking about Jake out here. These two-thirds ass niggas. All right, Spicks. All right, red faces. You know, people out here, you know, Jake out here, you know, Issachar, so-called Mexican, you know, they love glorifying their reproaches and their bywords at the so-called white man Esau Edom gave them. You know, they love, you know, going out. They love being known as a bad guy. That's why when we look into these certain images going to school in elementary, you always see the good side being a white boy and the bad guy being a you know, a so-called black boy. And it's bugged out, man. The people love that. And that's why people keep buying PS5s, or Tory Lanez out there, you know, rolling up a blunt while singing, and people like that. It's a damn shame, man. You know. That's why we gotta get out this place, man. You know, sin is a reproach. Righteousness is exalted as a nation, but sin is a reproach unto any people. And reproach, you know, we sin as a nation. That's why we're out here, man. But the word of Yahweh by Shemi Oshai, at the time is really nigh, as the scriptures say. I believe it was in the book of Romans, the 13th chapter, talking about how it is high time to wake up, because high time to wake out of sleep, man, because we know that things are really getting heavy. You know, you start seeing more spiritual signs and stuff, all right? The brothers have been, you know, seeing more stuff, you know? The Spirit's been dealing with the Lord's men greatly now. All right, you know, we all grow in this truth, but now we're getting stronger, elevated. You know, we get double the portion of the Spirit in these times, man, because this thing really requires faith. It's like resting back, Revelation 11, verse 8. And the dead bodies, you know, them being Jake in this darkness, you know, not having the proper breath of life, which that breath of life is really talking about understanding. You know, the Lord's understanding, which is by way of these scriptures. All right, laws, statutes, and commandments, which are given unto us, but we can't do it right now because we're in this captivity. All right, you can read about that in the book of Judges, talking about how in the land of living waters, we shall rehearse the righteous acts being the laws. Living waters meaning captivity. I believe that's what it said. But yeah, we're in this captivity, so the laws don't apply to us right now. But we gotta rehearse them. You know, that's a righteous thing. As Paul even, you know, explained the whole thing, the whole matter. But Jake out here don't like doing that. You know, you tell them that they're an Israelite, they're like, oh yeah, I'm an Israelite. Or you got Kodak Black already just bugging out, believing in he's an Hebrew Israelite, all right? Because, you know, you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans, all right, you guys are the true biblical Israelites the Bible speaks of. But now all of a sudden, that guy, he's already Christian again. Kodak the Christian, as one of the brothers called it. And he's through, man. These people are through. All right? But a lot of them, you know, a lot of these vain-ass Israelites, they know what's up. They know that they're an Israelite, but they ain't being dealt with because they don't have, you know, they don't do the will of Yahweh by Shemi Oshai. All right, so, and the dead body shall lie in the streets of the great city, you know, and the other apostle Tahar already done been through this, you know, even the other apostle Ryan Love, you know, that great city, because the word city, man, you know, it's as big as its people, you know, and you go looking throughout these countries, man, you cannot earn your citizenship by immigrating to another country or migrating to another country, you know, you can't earn your citizenship. But the heathens, or even Jake out here from these various other nations, when they come over here, they could earn their citizenship. All right, so they're a citizen, you know, after some time and after they get approved. All right, my mama, you know, so like my mama already got her thing, you know. But yeah, as the word, the definition of the word city means you know, a country in itself, because country is as big. The country, the people itself are that nation, nationality. All right, that's why when we're born here, man, our nationality is so-called, you know, is American, but it really ain't, you know. So that is, you know, a country's as Slovakia. The word city is as big as its people, meaning the whole country. Slovakia. Stuttered there, but I stuttered there, but yeah, these dead bodies Jake out here all throughout the whole corner of America, man. Mainly in America, because that's where Westernization comes in. That wine over fornication. All right, so a dead body shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom in Egypt. See, Sodom in Egypt. All right, that's where you got that pride flags out there, you know. What's it called? The bondage out here, you know, going back into the comments of this so-called great nation. All right, what you have was that this, you know, literally speaking, man, country was literally built on the black, you know, on the backs of Jake out here. You know, and we're still in captivity to this day. The word Egypt literally means bondage, house of bondage, which bondage is an ancient term for slavery, captivity. You know, so, you know, it's no coincidence, man, that this bridge talking about referring to America. You know, it's Sodom because of its ways, you know, of its perverseness, being wickedness. All right, and Egypt because of its captivity. You know, and we are in captivity right now, which is why we're waiting for Yahweh to deliver us. You have these GOCC niggas out there, you know, claiming you have to go by way of plain escape in America, when the scriptures say, talking about how, you know, using the scriptures talking about, you know, get thee out of Babylon, you know, but it ain't talking about actually fleeing, you know, that's carnal minded right there. And when it talks about leaving America, you know, it's like it, all right, going away from America, it's like Babylon, it's really referring to, you know, wake up, you know, detach fully out of the nation, because you don't want to be caught up in these ways, man. All right, that's being dead in the body, man. You know, they're dead in the spirit, they're dead bodies. So like, all right, so the burning of Egypt, see, talking about America right here. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. All right, and throughout the Psalms, man, the scriptures refer to the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which are maneuvered in and you know, driven by the angels out there. You know, the angels of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they're the Lord's eyes. Right, so the scriptures refers to them, you know, metaphorically to clouds. You know, so going back, you know, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and that's Yahweh Shai right there. You know, he became our Lord after he died up on the you know, give himself up for a ransom for the nation's sins. All right, first and foremost, the elect. But you know, when we bring back Yahweh Tezah, we are the elect. You know, when we bring back Jake, you know, they'll come back as well, because it says in the book of Romans, I forget which chapter. I believe it was the 11th chapter. Most likely, Yakan, it was the 11th chapter. Talking about how all Israel shall be saved. Not only that, but in the book of Isaiah, the 45th chapter, verse 17, it even talks about Israel shall be an everlasting world without end. Well, roughly paraphrasing right there, you know? So, and it shall come into Egypt. So Yahweh Shai, and this, you know, the biggest chariot, because this chariots, man, they're bigger than Earth. You know, you can see that. Or you have some footage out there by the people that check out the, you know, space, man. Where they got these big looking objects, man, which really they're vehicles, man. Right? Because, you know, Esau got his systems out there, his little satellites throughout the you know, space. But yeah, there's bigger chariots on this planet Earth. I wish I was gonna hop in the biggest chariot ever. Revelation, the 1st chapter, verse 7. All right, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. That's really heavy right there. You could read about that in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, I believe it was. Talking about how, you know, these people are going to throw away their idols, man. Throw away their idols to fear the Lord. You know, because he's coming in his full glory. You know, full glory. Even with his Father, man. At the glory of his Father as well. That's his full glory right there, man. The scriptures say, I am of the Father, and the Father in me. So, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. You know, the heart of Egypt is falling in the midst of it, you know. And right now, technically speaking, by way of these scriptures, man, the scriptures are afire. But very soon, man, it's going to be to a point where it's literally going to be melted away. I mean, the thermonuclear destruction, man. Alright, the scriptures say in this book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, verse 10. Alright, as I get that out, you know, in a bit. It talks about how the elements shall burn away with the fervent heat, man. All the elements are up. You know? All these buildings, trees, grass, man, everything right here. The snow, man, the snow. Look, go to New York, man. Alright, go to the East Coast, Rocky Mountains, man. All that snow will be desert very soon. New land masses, etc., man. Because, that, you know, that's all the Lord is dealing with right now. This wicked ass place, man. People don't want to hearken. Alright, they want to seek their way. They want to continue in their ways. Alright, so verse 2, which is the point I wanted to get out. Going back to, you know, the beef between these governors, right? These people against the king / Pharaoh of Egypt being the president, you know, which is, you know, America, which is Biden, you know, because, you know, this mandate is really unleashing civil unrest. All right, the brothers have been speaking about this for a long time now, even before these new articles yesterday started talking about civil unrest. All right, a second civil war. We've been done talking about this because it's all prophecy, you know, prophecy right there. And I will set the Egyptians, you know, now this chapter, man, Isaiah 19, the first 2 verses, man, they really talk about Egypt, you know, being Americans, man. But then at the latter end of the whole chapter, you know, at the bottom of it, Egypt and the Assyrians are really referring to the Israelites, man, to the infatuance of captivity. All right, same thing for here, man, which I want to get out as well. You know, Jake out here, they love being known as American. All right, going to South America, all right, Latin America, you got a term called blanquimiento, and basically that means is because we're all under the curses due to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? You know, Jake out here, they want to, you know, look white so they could escape these curses, man. Or that's why you got our women, you know, Eve out there looking out, getting these hair extensions and dyeing their hair blonde and putting on that makeup and then dapping their skin color, which, you know, magic is like, you know, makeup is basically magic, man. Witchcraft out there, man. So it's gonna destroy all that. All right, and that's a prophecy that happened. It's gonna happen again. Isaiah the 3rd chapter, you know, that chapter right there really goes into that. All right, so You know, all these women out here, you know, because mainly Eve, man, mainly Eve being put on a pedestal, which is why the men glorify the woman. All right, we all know, what was it? One of the three guys out there, the three men, I believe it was in the book, yeah, book of First Esdras. I'm gonna get that out, you know. What happened was that, you know, they all made a deal, you know, saying whoever has the best letter, they get to be I forget something, you know, a high person with the king, you know. Let me try and find it. Slovakia, but it's somewhere around here, you know, in the book of First Esdras, you know. And you gotta really eat the whole. You gotta eat the whole roll, man. Or that's how you get this proper understanding, you know. I believe it was in First Timothy. I forget, but one of the brothers got it out this morning in the group chat, talking about how you know Slovakia. That was one precept, but now I'm thinking about another. In First Timothy, 2nd chapter, verse 15. All right, Slovakia. I'm trying to find it, but all right, this is the book of First Esdras, chapter 4, and I'm gonna start off at verse 13 and the third. All right, verse 13. Then the third, who has spoken of women and of truth, this was Zorobabel. All right, and basically the parentheses, they weren't in the proper scriptures, you know, but they were put in, I forget by when and who, but you know they applied these parentheses so they could probably describe it for you, you know. But going into the New Testament, you see like a whole bunch of precepts with parentheses, which really they're really not part of the scriptures. They're just added in there, you know. That's why a majority of us skip it, but hey, sometimes they're for edification's sake too, so you could probably understand who it is that they're talking about and what's happening directly. All right, like Yahushua, you know, when he's talking about the Pharisees, but at the same time, you know, it switches to him talking to a guy, but they wouldn't know that. They believe that Yahushua keep on talking to the Pharisees when he was talking to one account, you know, talking to one of the sick, you know. It's like it. So verse 13, under the truth began to speak. Verse 14, O ye men, it is not the great king nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth, you know. And wine maketh the man merry. But at the same time, man, you know, as science shows, man, it could be used as a depressant, you know. That's why people end up committing suicide, man. But that's all the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. He ordains that. All right, I kill it and I make it alive. That's what he says. All right, and that's in 1 Samuel, I believe the 2nd chapter. Yeah, most like, yeah, it is. So it goes on to say, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it? And oh, so like I'm read the whole thing again. Verse 14. Oh, you meant it is not the great king. And also that, man, because people right now in these days, you could play it to the point where you know, these people out here, they hate the government, you know. They hate the federal government, especially Biden now, because of the way he's been acting throughout these past months, these recent 8 months. All right, and by the way he's pushing out these mandates, man. All right, that new mandate, which, you know, yeah, governor is going out left and right. You know, people are really pissed off, or even got employers out there that are not wanting to comply with his rules. All right, the governor from Florida, Ron DeSantis, even said we will fight after Biden responded to his ass. You know, so that's going into Isaiah the 19th chapter verse 2. You know what? I shall set the Egyptian against the Egyptians. So like I shall set the Egyptian against the Egyptians. If you couldn't hear that, but hey, man, verse 14. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? And they not women? All right, because women, you know, we are glorified. They're put on a pedestal. But even back then, you know, a man would do anything for a woman. All right, verse 15. Women have born the king. That's exactly true, man. You know? And all the people that bear rule by sea and land, even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. You know, and the thing is, man, people, you know, men will do anything for, you know, that's where you get the term simp from, you know. Now them being put on a high pedestal in this backwards society, queendom, you know, this queendom, not a kingdom, queendom, because they're joining hands with the so-called white man, Esau Edom. So, you know, not because they really overdid it, they're going backwards. You best believe, man, the Lord's gonna destroy this place, man. And the men, you know, they're abased. You know, they do anything for a woman. When in reality, it wasn't built like that, you know. 1 Corinthians, I believe it was, I believe it was the 3rd or 11th chapter, talking about how the head of the head of the woman is a man, you know, and the head of the man is the anointed, you know, Yahweh Shai, and the head of Yahweh Shai is Yahweh, you know, the heavenly Father. It's like his heavenly Father, you know. All right, because that's why we call Yahweh Shai the only begotten Son, because he is the first spirit created by him and the only spirit created by him. All right, we only come about because of Yahweh Shai. He created us. The people can't probably break down the Genesis chapter 1, you know, they can't break it down. And you have to realize, man, Genesis, a lot of chapters, man, one of the first chapters, they're parabolical, man. All right, such as that time where it talks about Adam, you know, being a bone, like a rib removed, which people actually think is a real surgery, which really it ain't, man. All right, goes into him finding a woman of his tribe, you know, marrying her. All right, that's why a lot of the men of the Lord, you know, the other scriptures, they were really serious about their son marrying the daughter in their kin, the near kinsman. All right, near kin, so like a kin meaning family, so the near kin. All right, Isaac and Rebecca. Rebecca was near kin to Isaac, which Isaac was Yahweh Shai, you know, and Yahweh Shai came back. All right, you can read about that in which chapter of Genesis talks about how what's it called, Yahweh Shai, you know, him being an angel of the Lord, you know, titled as that, you know, came over to meet Abraham and Sarah, and since, you know, Sarah was barren, but, you know, he said that you shall have a son and that shall return, you know, roughly paraphrasing right here, but it talks about how they shall return and they shall have a son, because, you know, his spirit, man, he you know, the Lord made it so that he could end up being in the womb of Sarah and then coming out as Isaac, you know. All right, but people can't get that, man. People are too carnal as fuck. But Yahweh Shai was many people, man, and he understood that what he did was a lot of stuff. What he did was wrong, which is why, you know, when he came back on the scene last time, he spoke to the one Israelite, to that one man. There is none that doeth good but the Father himself, you know, because he understood his past lives, because reincarnation is a thing by way of scriptures. Digressing back, you know, verse 16, even of them came they, and they nourished them. Slack at verse 17, these also make garments for men, you know, because women are supposed to be in help, a comfort for men, you know, and that love, you know, that chemical romance, going back to the word Rome, you know, which is bad, but, you know, that chemical, that chemistry that they build together, man and a woman, is strong. You know, that's why a man will do anything. Verse 18, yea, and if a man have gathered together gold and silver or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? All right, I believe it was in Sirach, talking about how you know, it is pleasing, roughly paraphrasing here, but it is pleasing, you know, to be with the woman. You know, a man leaveth his own father, verse 20, a man leaveth his own father that brought him up in his own country and cleaveth unto his wife. You know, but, you know, going back, you know, because of that, you know, Esau really overdid it with the system, man. You know, the women are put on a high pedestal, which is why the men do anything. You know, and that's probably one of the reasons why Yahweh Shai is coming back to destroy this wicked ass place. So going back to verse 2 and Isaiah the 19th chapter, alright, and I will set the Egyptians, you know, them being the Americans, you know, alright, the modern day Chaldeans, you know, which the Chaldeans were the inhabitants of Babylon, ancient Babylon, in other words, Salakia. Because this is Babylon, you know, pursuing to the book of Revelation, you know, that great whore. So, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and that's what you got going on right now. Alright, you got the federal government against these states. You have to realize this, man. When it comes to the nation itself, alright, you got these various states out here. Alright, there's a difference, man, between federal laws and state laws. Alright, that's why an example of it is in Utah. Alright, polygamy is accepted, but going to California here, it isn't. And why here the age of consent would be 18, and New York City would be 16. You know, these states, state laws differ around each other, you know, from each other. They all differ from each other. But hey, man, the federal laws all remain, making them united as one nation, man. At least that's what Esau says, man. But it ain't the time for that right now, you know. As the scripture saying in Ecclesiastes 3, all right, there's a time for everything, you know. So right now you're having a nation divided against itself, you know. The Lord is translating the kingdom from one person to another. All right, and that's really heavy right there, man. Or you see that right now. That's why you see these certain prophets coming at pastors. People, they're bugged out of their mind. They don't understand these scriptures. So and they shall fight everyone against his brother. And that's the thing, man. All right, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, even said we will fight after Biden claimed, stated that that he would using his power, we would overrule authority, and you know, basically overdoing it, man, with his power and bringing these governors down and making them submissive. But hey, man, these people want to retaliate. All right, that's prophecy right there, major prophecy, man. Talking about these uproars of the people. So, and everyone shall fight against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. All right, because we've been talking about these, you know, that second civil war, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. There's no thing under the sun. But hey, man, we also been talking about city wars, class wars, state wars, you know, social wars. Actually talking about that, but you got these various wars, city wars as well. So they come to a time, man, come to a point by the time when the economy falls down, all right, because you see it before your eyes, man. Esau's trying to, you know, mess it up where he claims that everything's gonna work out well, but it ain't, man. All right, these people want to retaliate. That brings a halt in production, distribution, and trade. You know, hence the commence of a shortage, and you're seeing more of that now, man. All right, the storehouses shall be emptied out. I believe it was, Second Ezra's, I believe the 16th chapter. But hey, people are gonna fight against each other for necessities, you know, and it'll be a real dangerous time known as Jacob's trouble. So, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and you got state wars back in the day, and going to the Wikipedia, I believe, I forget the term was it for a state in America, but hey, man, these states are practically their own kingdom, you know, because they all got their own laws within themselves, but now they want to, you know, they want to go against each other. You're gonna have some states going with this country, but you know, going with the federal government, but the others, man, no, you know. And that's the way that they're pushing it out, you know, by way of riots, retaliation. So that way they could, you know, mandate the solutions being that MOTV, you know, that digital currency, and a new world order, in other words. The thing is, man, your new world order ain't gonna work out, Esau. You know, all right, you so-called white men. All right, you elites out there, because you elites, man, you mainly, all right, because you elites out there, you guys are the Amalekites. All right, Amalek. All right, you got the Dubons, I believe it's pronounced. I'm not sure. The families out here, you know, banking families, Rothschilds, Rockefellers. The third one, you know, there's 11 of them. You know, I believe there's 11 families. But you guys are the main ones behind the scene. You know, you guys are in control of it all, and you guys control everything here. But hey, man, I'm gonna tell you this one. You know, this one's right here. When Yahweh Shai comes back, man, your ranks fall down. Yeah, you guys have no say in this thing, man. Because Yahweh Shai is against this, you know, order right here. The true New World Order is when Yahweh Shai establishes the kingdom, you know, hence known as the Great Reset. But anyways, man, I want to go out the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter, verse 1. It's like chapter 2, verse 1. You know. So hey, Esau, man, you're not gonna prevail. All right, we've been done telling you this, man. All right, not even. And even before us, man, even before we came back in this lifetime, man. All right, the scriptures, you know, the prophets of old, you know, some of them are here, you know. They even spoke on these things. All right, so the book of Micah 7:31. So hey, Esau, you ain't got no say, and you're gonna lose everything, man. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. That's the way you're pushing this agenda out, man. You know, it's about it's like, woe to them that devise iniquity. All right, and that's exactly what you guys do. All right, you guys planned it out from the start, from the very beginning. All right, it ain't like no normal movie, man, where you guys just go on with what you guys got. You guys don't just add stuff along. No, you guys have been meditating on this thing, man. Alright, but just like how you guys been meditating on wickedness, you even got Jake. You guys broke down these heathens and Jake out here so badly, man. That they glorify you, man. All right, as it says in the book of Habakkuk or Habakkuk, I believe it was chapter 3 or chapter 2, most likely the 3rd chapter, but talking about how you shall cast your net, your drag, and you shall catch. That drag being the philosophies, and that's why these people seek your ways, man. And whatever you say goes. That's how it's always been. I recall a time when my mother made fun of an Edomite, and she got pissed off. But when it comes to Jake making fun of them, she laughs along. No, man, no. The thing with Jake, man, they're all gonna get destroyed because of the lack of knowledge. All right, so woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That's what they've been doing, man. All right, but now they're shedding light on what they're doing. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of the hands. And as the scriptures say, man, in the book of Genesis, it's like the book of Job, the 9th chapter, man. 9th chapter, one of the most notorious scriptures, man. As I like to bring, I like to mention that because they really are, man. They get out the best ones, and we overdo them, but we're broken records, like I say, Chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and that goes back to the blessings, right? Goes back to the birthright as well. That's why Esau has that perpetual hatred upon Jake, and that's why their agenda is mainly targeting so-called black and brown communities, which are Jake. They have a perpetual hatred upon us. I'll get a couple of scriptures out right now pursuant to the fact, there literally has a roaring lion. Or you had a video from one of the brothers showing, bringing out some scriptures in the background, some precepts in the background, Slovakia. But the video depicts a leopard toying with a little baby fawn. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word. A little baby deer, and then after a little bit, after a few minutes go by, the leopard, just decides to attack and choke it to death and eat it. That's how Esau is, man. He's been toying with you all along. All right, y'all folk out here, y'all pave your way, to seek love. You trim your way to seek love by the heathen. When these heathen really hate you, man. All right, what did it say in the book of Deuteronomy? I forget which chapter, talking about how I forget which chapter it's talking about, but mention how these laws shall be for a sign and people for wisdom, and the heathens shall be afraid, and they shall praise the elect, praise the nation of Israel by way of these laws, which these laws, man, they're really wisdom. But hey, do we got wisdom right now? Do we got wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? No, Jake out here, just kicking their feet upon the stones and hurting themselves and basically, finessing themselves in other words, But hey, digressing back, they were given the blessing of the fatness of the earth, fatness of the earth, meaning the whole world. That's why when you look at statistics wise, you got Edomites everywhere. They're like a vagabond going back to Cain, because really, he came back as his old forms were that serpent, that old serpent and Cain, and he came back as Esau, Edom, after that flood, which before that flood is known as the antediluvian. So yeah, man, his traits, man, they fit everything. He fits a lot of these things, man, which is why through the Spirit we understand these things, man. The Lord revealed it to the things. As scriptures say, the Lord does nothing but reveal it to secrets and to the prophets, and to his prophets. With the prophets, 144,000 servants of Yahweh Hashem and Rishai, we ride till we die for this truth, We say we strive for this truth until death. We were given these things, man, which the whether Yahweh Hashem and Rishai, we were given this thing, we were given mercy, because this thing is really mercy. And it's like digressing back. Alright, got a little windy, these cars out here. Yeah, we're at the job, man, everything goes according to plan. But book of Job, the 9th chapter, verse 24, I'll read it again. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Just you can literally see Esau being in control, and we know that he's in control, man. Alright, the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, alright, verse 9. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob was the beginning of it that followeth. That's how we know these things, man. All right, so that's how you know, man, that he was given the power of these things. So going back to the book of Micah. Verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of the hand. So they're in authority right now. It's not righteous authority, it's wicked authority, which is why the scriptures say, I believe it was in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, yeah, which verse it was, but it talks about how, you know, creation is waiting for the manifestation of the, creation is waiting for the sons of God. You know, them being the Israelites, you know, they're waiting for the manifestation of us, you know, to come back in the authority, righteous authority, and bring back the world, you know, revive it back into the way the Lord intended it to be, by way of the laws and by way of how the earth is supposed to be running, you know, by way of the ecosystem, man, because this ecosystem's all messed up. That's why you got cement everywhere. But you know, that's why these things are gonna burn with the fervent heat. Then being that thermonuclear destruction is gonna burn away everything. All right, these cars out here, all right, these, so like you have to rev the these buildings and the cement. It's even gonna burn away the trees. Now, what did the Lord do to the trees, man? What did the Lord do to the Slaki? What did these trees do to the Lord? What did the water do to the Lord? Because a lot of the fish are gonna die out here. You know, what did the trees do to the Lord? What did the fish do to the Lord? You know, all these animals are innocent. You know, but hey, man, the Lord's really pissed off, which is why is that's why there's an incoming sword destruction waiting for America. You know, we just gotta wait for these things to increase. That's the whole point right there. The whole point, nothing but the point. So, yeah, man, because it is in the power of the hands. All right, and the book of, I got the book of Psalms. All right, the 55th chapter. You know. All right. So, Slovakia. Getting into it, but hey, man, you can't trust this devil. You can't. They practice these things because it is in their hand, man. But you know, we being of the elect, you know, Yahweh says that we are the elect. As it says in the book of 2 Corinthians, I believe it was 2nd chapter verse 11, or 1 Corinthians 2nd chapter verse 11, talking about how you know, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, them being the, you know, purposes, plans. People can't understand that. You know, that's why I'm bringing out that the John Different Bible Dictionary. Because they don't like searching shit, you know, words for shit. You know, they use it to their own context, for their own vain opinion, which scriptures say in the book of Sirach, you know, a vain opinion deceiveth the mind, deceiveth the heart, which that heart goes in the word mind, la'ab, in the Hebrew. All right, so Psalm 55, verse 3. Oh shoot, so like in verse 58, verse 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies. That's why you can't trust this devil, man. All right, that's why I brought up the point, man. All right, well, with the what's up with gates of hell? Gates of hell, I'm gonna call it. That's my code word for him right now. You know, so it's gonna be from now on, because you know, it could be that Esau got deleting videos just by saying a certain name. You know, Esau is terrified, but he's also offended and upset. That's why he's coming out with the great wrath. It says in the book of Revelation, the 2nd chapter, I believe it was verse 10. You know, but hey, man, you can't trust this devil, man. He's been saying that you know, he wants to help you, but in reality he wants to kill you. All right, you can't trust him at all. So the wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies. And the wicked, man, or in this case, you know, because the word wicked, man, you could refer it to you know, the Edomites, them being the border of wickedness. But you could also refer to you could also apply it to Jake out here, you know, these two-third niggas. All right, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Y'all people, y'all two-thirds out there that bug the hell up, man, y'all gonna die. All right, as Yahweh Shai, you know, who you saw when he called Jesus Christ, and his name is Yahweh Shai. All right, he even likened you, Jake, out there for the sons of the devil, you know, the sons of Esau, Edom, and it's hilarious, man. He said you guys are the sons of Satan, man. You know, because y'all bugging the hell out, you know. But hey, y'all trusting him. My mother took that freaking jab, man. Hey, something bad stuff was gonna happen back with that. You got people dying left and right. Alright, you got people out there and people take it because they're afraid. They don't understand these scriptures. They don't have the answers, and yet also they're afraid of men. They're afraid of man. Right? To realize this, man, people are afraid of power when it's being abused. And Esau abusing his power, man. People are afraid. Alright, that's why they hit that jab and bad stuff is gonna happen, man. Alright, what does the scripture say? Fear not him that killeth the body, but fear him that killeth the body and soul in hell. Which hell is a state of suffering. So, hey man, that's why we don't fear this damn devil, but we don't trust him because we know what's up. They're the wicked, you know. They're the wicked of this precept right here, you know. Psalm 58 and 3. The wicked is really referring to Esau Edom. Malachi, the 1st chapter, verse 4. So they're poison, like they go as soon as be born speaking lies. You know, poison is like the poison meaning philosophy. You know, that root of good and evil. Going back to the Genesis thing, you know, that's really referring to philosophy. That one of our fornication, that's philosophy. You know, that you guys can get it. You know, as the elders would say. As the high priest Yaquab, the one who passed away, our respects be unto him. He even said, "If a nigga can't get it, we moving on because, hey man, the Lord blinded you. If you can't understand these scriptures, man, the Lord, you know, dispatches angels so you won't probably understand. Because the Lord ain't dealing with you. He rejected you. All right, but that all goes back to a past life. Because you rejected the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai, he shall also reject thee. You know, roughly paraphrasing right there. Now I'm quoting that from the book of Jeremiah, the 4th chapter, verse 22, I believe. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So the poison is like a poison of a serpent. You know, thus proving another clue that you guys are the so-called white. It's like that you so-called white man, being Esau Edom. You guys are the serpent. You know that damn devil. You know that old dragon. You know, the wicked people. They are like the deaf adder that stuck with their ear. So going to the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter. Alright, verse and actually I'm gonna start with the verse 1 in chapter 1, you know, bringing us an exhortation as well, you know, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel and Malachi, you know, in this case being a message unto Israel, because Israel, you know, just like right now, you know, and the prophets of old, you know, we all whined, we all cried, we all sighed because of the wickedness of this place, and we want the Lord to deliver us, but we kept on staying in captivity upon captivity upon captivity upon captivity. And not only that, but you know, these heathens, while it wasn't really proper captivity while we were in our land, but telling the judges, what the Lord did was he sent these heathens to rule among us. All right, you had the Moabites, or you had these certain people out here, you know. So I have loved you, said the Lord. You say, when hast thou loved us? So you know, Jake out here always out here saying, why, Father, why you do this thing? You know, we always complain. You know, sometimes we complain, but it doesn't matter, man. I mean, you gotta suck it up. As the scriptures say in the book of Job, the 38th chapter, or the 40th chapter as well, it talks about how grew up that knows like a man, because Yahweh Shemel Shai really wants you to be a man. All right, as the scriptures say in the book of Exodus, the 15th chapter, verse 3, which I'm gonna get out, you know, because it's really empowering, man. That the Lord is a righteous power, man. He's a man, a righteous man. All right, so Exodus, the 15th chapter, verse 3. Alright, and this is for you bug guys out there that claim that music ain't really, you know, these lyrics, man. It's like, yeah, as an ambulance. Gotta wait for that to pass. Alright, the water. Alright, because going back to the you know, going back to the ancient world, you know, the women used to sing a lot, you know. We used to praise the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai whenever, you know, a miracle would happen, a great work would happen. Right, and these people out here, you know, these modern day Catholics out there, they say that lyrics are the devil, and no, man, no. Alright, that music is just classical music from Yahweh. What? Then basically the scriptures are a lie, you know. But as the scriptures say in the book of Psalms, I forget which one, I believe it was the 11th chapter, if I'm correct or not, talks about how the word of the Lord is righteousness and justice. You know, it's truth. The word of the Lord is truth. You know, so that would make the word alive. But you have some cops and some paramedics over there, but whatever. Something happened, you know, call Allah and Yahweh Bashim El Shai, because these things happen. Call Allah and Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Just say, man, the book of as the scriptures say in 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter, the Lord does all these things. The Lord does all these things, you know. I believe it was in the book of Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, talking about how none can deliver my hand, and I heal and I wound. You know, the Lord does all that. The Lord does all that, man. You know, he could boast all the, you know, he boasts all day long, and you guys can't understand this fear of the Lord, man. And that's bugged out, man, because you guys can't understand it. But hey, man, you're gonna soon feel the fire of the Lord, man, the wrath. So, verse 3: the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is His name. And it was going to a song that Moses sang, as it's titled Moses' song. But hey, the Lord is a man of war. All right, because he brought out a good point. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai does these things. All right, you know, adding to what happened previously about how we part of the waves of the Red Sea, and Pharaoh and his army died. They all drowned therein. As Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know, call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know. So going back, you know, verse 2: I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet you say, when hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob. See, the Lord loves us, man. You know. All right, we may face trials, but as it's in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter. All right, if thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul, for temptation. All right, so digressing back, verse 3: and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. That's gonna happen again, man. It happened again back in the Roman Empire. All right, but it's gonna happen again now. All right, because as you see, you got the same architecture they had back in the Greek and the Roman Empire. They don't got the eagles, unfortunately, because you know the eagles are their moniker. But hey, man, that's even more proof, man, that the so-called white man is Esau Edom. You know, we've been saying that for a long time now. That's because it's true. So it's gonna happen again by way of the thermonuclear destruction. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. You know, that's why you got the skyscrapers. You have to realize this, man. The skyscrapers were only built back in the 1800s, late 1800s, around the 50s or 60s, I forget. But hey, man, it was a small little building. But hey, man, skyscraper because it scraped the heavens, man. Sky being one of the heavens, you know. But the Lord's gonna destroy all this, man. The Lord's gonna do all we with this thing, you know. But we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts: they shall build what I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. And you have to realize this, man. Wherever the soul of an Edomite touches, it's the land. They're given the fatness of the earth, and the whole world is given into their hand. That's why they have the power to practice their wickedness. You know, they devise it and they practice it because it is given to the power of their hands. You know, so this whole place of wickedness, man, because you know their government is built, you know, off the ways of these previous great kingdoms. All right, the Nineveh. All right, ancient Babylon, Sodom, Egypt. You know, Babylon the Great follows in its ways. It follows in its ways of all this wickedness. You know, that's why it's called the border of wickedness, because of its perverseness. And Esau is a wicked person. All right, as the scriptures say, when the wicked are multiplied, transgressions increases, because you know they don't have this proper understanding. You know, but it's like it's getting a little bit windy. You know, I'm trying to hold it to the best of my ability to get in this video done. But hey, man, Book of Isaiah 10th chapter. And spiritual science everywhere. You know, spiritual science everywhere. You know. All right, the spirit, you know, the spirit of the Lord is really just getting heavy with the men of the Lord now. You see that now. So the 10th chapter of the book of Isaiah, verse 1, woe unto them that devise, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. And you go to another translation, right, which is why we really don't, go into these other translations, but for edification's sake, just to give out a bigger point, we sometimes go into these translations, man. Right, the Good News translation, which I'm not recommending to do these things, man, but we do it for edification's sake as well, so you can probably get an understanding of what it means. Alright, because there's certain things, certain topics, man, where the scriptures, you can't understand it. So the only way to probably break it down is by getting to these other books. And that doesn't help in watch a breakdown. But you still don't let the Spirit, man, to understand these things, man. You gotta pray on it, but if not, then you ain't being dealt with. Levels upon it. But going to the net, right? So in the other translation, decree means the word decree means a law. And these laws are all over the place, man. They're all jumping around. They're bouncing off the corners, blah blah, But it is what it is, Yahweh Hashem Oshai intended it. As the scripture say in the book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter, verse 1, which I'm gonna get out right now. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but go into the device of righteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, and the way they're pushing this about, it's all gonna lead up to riot and lawlessness. And what then? What then? Or you had a video of one of the military personnel doing a TikTok about what happens during a martial law. Alright, a situation of martial law. You guys got no rights, man. You guys are the terrorists. No one cares about your damn little baby boy rights, but it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. Alright, because we've had these checkpoints back in America, alright, last year for the C-19. But you also have that right now for right now going to Australia. You got the lockdown. It's really serious over there, but and Slovakia, this wind is heavy. But hey, man, you have the Australia's under fire right now because of that. One of the few cases that they got, and what they got is military personnel on checkpoints everywhere. They're you're not Jake out there, but they got these checkpoints all over, and that's gonna happen again for America. But for a bigger, even a worse scenario, being lawlessness. It's gonna get to a point, man, where Esau's gonna say enough is enough, let's go on a phase, whatever it is right now, So, it goes on to say, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, they are prescribing these grievous things, man. They prescribe you to take that jab, even though we know what's up. All right, going on to the article that happened recently, I believe it was a woman, I forget which, but that person was talking, that one woman, I believe, was communicating with Dr. Anthony Fauci, or an Edomite, and what she had to say was, I done took the jab. How much more do we need to be protected? And what did Fauci say? He said, I have no firm answer. Roughly paraphrasing right here, because I don't got the proper understanding off the bat. But these things are happening, man. All right, we there's no point in taking that jab, man, because we know what's going on. All right, we know that it doesn't matter how many jabs you take, man. You're still gonna need another shot, right? But not only that, man, they're already moving their booster shots. They're moving their booster shots to the other nations, Because supposedly they want to help these other nations, man, which really ain't like that, man. It really ain't like that. All right. But hey, man, they want to take that other thing on, but that goes on to the 10th chapter of Isaiah, and the right grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, and these same Jake out here, Jake out here bugging the hell out, trimming their way to seek love from the heathen. No, it ain't gonna work out for you, dog. You heard? So what I was gonna get out is the book of Mark, 3rd chapter. What happens when all this lawlessness comes about, man? Lawlessness and riots, more riots than we have right now. All right, we're gonna be in a full-on shortage, man, a full-on famine. Not only the word, but also not only physical famine as well, but also the word as well. You're gonna start seeking answers, but that mindset of survival of the fittest is really gonna kick in right there. So the book of Mark, the 3rd chapter, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. All right, and we're seeing that with America, and only in America we're seeing it. They're in. All right, So these riots, man, they're gonna be on the full-on Jacob's trouble, and then attacks, and then blah blah blah. Listen, you know, we see these things as scriptures say, man. Same scripture I quoted out before. I believe it was, you know, when the wicked are multiplied, I believe, or was it when the wicked are in authority? But one of the precepts, it reads, but the just shall see their fall, or righteous shall see their fall. Right there, really paraphrasing right there, because we do see their fall right now by way of these scriptures. All right, that's why we're out here prophesying the downfall of this wicked ass place, America. Yeah, it might be 9/11. People don't understand, man, what really happened at that day, and they wanna partake in these events, which really they're not a part of. And Esau doesn't accept them for what they are, you know. All right, an example of that is why the term Chicano exists. Chicano. All right, you know, Issachar, Jake out there, you know, bugging the hell out, loving to call themselves Mexicans, and that's like Americans. Well, they go down to Mexico. They call the Jake out there, you know, they don't have to call Issachar American Issachar born Jakes. They don't have to call them Mexican. So they came up with the street term Chicano. So digressing back, I'm gonna reread it again, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. That was happening in America, man. You see that by a long shot, man. Alright? And Esau's gonna try and use his tactics. Alright, martial law, this and that, implement it here, or implement it there, so we could get these people submissive again like it was before. No more uproars in the people. That's gonna totally backfire, man. Alright, that's also gonna pave a way to you know, that when Isaiah 59 verse 19. Let me get that out, you know. The book of Isaiah, the 59th chapter, verse 19, I believe. Yeah, come on. And it's like it's pretty windy. My stand is broken. I'm gonna get a new one. Yahweh Batazah. You know, yeah, Lord willing. You know, Yahweh willing. I get a new stand. This thing is almost done out here, but verse 19. So shall they fear. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood. All right, you see a flood. You know, like a flash flood. It just goes in really quick. You know. And being in the midst of a sea, you got all that stuff around you, surrounding you. That's how the enemy is gonna be. So we just say, man. I mean, as we all say, the scriptures are likened into literal sense, metaphorical, parabolical, figurative. You know, literal. If I haven't got that out, but you know, it's all different relations, man. So you gotta apply it. You know, you gotta understand is it, whether it's parabolic or literal. You know. Spiritual. But when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up the standard against them. Alright, you know, that martial law will literally pave a way into that standard being, you know, spiritual power, in other words. Which I'm gonna get out, you know, bring out again, you know, because hey man, it's probably gonna be as some of the brothers have been mentioning, it could be to a point where we really gotta heal some people with that jab that took, you know. We gotta heal it with the spiritual power. Yeah, but that's how we get that spiritual power. But hey man, here's the thing. Women ain't getting that spiritual power. There ain't no such thing as a 144 woman. Alright, you go on YouTube or you go on these bug out ass social media sites, you see a bug out woman with their username, queen this and that, alright, blah blah, you know, they make it it's like they make up their names, and then on the background it's like on the end is 144. You guys aren't men. Alright, but see, women want a voice so badly, man, because they're put on a pedestal. That's why the Lord's gonna destroy this place, you know. Because hey man, a woman cannot be a loudmouth. It's not written for a woman. You know, the commandment is for them to learn in silence. But hey man, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, you know, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. So things, man, you thought were unbelievable, man, unbelievably fake. Alright, that being spiritual power, y'all thought that Superman, y'all apply that, you know, apply that fake. They call other things which are not true as realistic, man. That's a doctrine. You've been heavily indoctrinized that y'all bugging out, man. Alright, we say bug us because you guys really are bugging out. But hey man, spiritual power, can you believe that? Alright, you literally have the power of flying, you know, wherever the spirit, you know, of Yahweh Shemel Shai decides to put upon you. Literally flying, you know, shooting out lasers. That's why you get heavily motivated with that, you know, running super speed. My favorite power is super speed. I wanna run to and fro really fast, you know, and flying, super strength, right? Healing, you know, through the spirit, man. As Yahweh Shai said, he that believes in me shall do greater work. So just imagine that. The thing is, man, we have to bring out a lot, is that the majority of his works, man, they're not written in this book, nor can they be written in any other book in the world. Because they're so great and so many of them. But they're so great and so many of them, just imagine the Israelite man going back into his natural estate. You know? The angels that fell out the first estate being, you know, the angels right there referring to the elect. First estate, you know? Now we're in this chains of darkness in this flesh right here, look. This is fragile right here. Like this kingdom, man, this kingdom is fragile as well. But hey, man, you know that martial law will literally pave a way into to that standard being lifted. You know. But anyways, I want to get out as well. The book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. You know, digressing back. But hey, man, just imagine that spiritual power. You know, that's really empowering right there. I got my notes right here. Because I'm not a good, you know, we all pray on spiritual gifts, and the Lord gives certain gifts, you know, being members, you know, each member has a role in the body, of the anointed, you know. Brothers got the ability to have an extra faith, you know, endure a lot, you know, remember scriptures, and, you know, we all have our own lots, you know. But hey, man, you know, at the same time, you know, we got the spirit, you know, in us, you know. That's why I'm bringing out a lot of these scriptures out here. That's how it really be, you know. That's empowering right there, you know. Not the spirit's upon us, you know. But hey, all right. The book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right, and if the Lord loved the world, all right, the entire world with all these nations included. Why does the Lord speak about these things, man? That's because the Lord doesn't change. He's a cold power. Malachi 3 and 6. All right, not only that, but I believe it was in the book of James, the first chapter, verse 15. I forget. But hey, man, these priests, man, that's what they say. Precept upon precept, line upon line, you know. So many scriptures coming to mind, you know, talking about how the Lord doesn't change. The Lord, you know, the Lord is not gonna all of a sudden be double-minded and change his mind. Alright, that's double-minded, which is, you know, going off. And Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's not a power to go off, you know. He's a righteous power. He's the Holy One of Israel, you know. The strength of Israel. And he has all these titles as well, man. You know, if he was double-minded, that would make the word a lie, as we keep on saying. You know, we take this word truthfully and sincere. You know, we don't stride in making vain accusations and vain explanations, man. That's a deep demon on you, and we're here to defend the scriptures, man. So verse 15, for the sword and the destruction. That sword, man, as I told you, all we have to bring out, you know, as the brothers always bring out, you know, it's the modern day gun. All right, you really think Isaiah, you think Jeremiah, all right, you think Ezekiel, that had these visions of the future, all right, you think these great prophets, man, all right, knew what they were called? No, they didn't have dreams and said, all right, this is what it's called. But no, man, all right, it was they just saw it, you know, they had visions and they wrote about it, but you know, they applied it to what it was called back then, because we all know, man, a gun is a weapon by the military. And back in the day, you didn't have guns, you had bows and arrows. That was also a weapon. That's why in 2nd Ezra, you know, it applies to missiles being arrows as well, being shot up to the end of the earth. You know, but they're mainly referred to as swords. The gun is referred to as a sword. Alright, wasn't Esau's blessing back in the book of Genesis, the 37th chapter, the sword? Right? Because, you know, these people pride themselves upon the guns. You know, Esau prides himself upon with these guns, you know? Especially out there in the west, and it's like in the Midwest or south in the south. You know, I'm not sure, but hey, man, Esau is really into those guns. So going back, you know, verse 15, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. America's a destruction last night, man. All right, sure, we got these things happening throughout the world, you know. Going back like at least 2 months ago, you had South America, South Africa, going through these things of uproars in the people, shortages, etc., man. Also, in these other parts of the world, North Korea, man, they're eating their damn dogs and cats because a lack of food, you know, a lack of demand. You know, the economy is going down there, but you know, now it's happening in America. You're seeing it by the second, literally by the second, man. Or we're always out there upon our watch, you know, just checking these new articles, right? Searching the web, finding more information, or waiting for our emails to arise, you know, going on YouTube, looking at the news on the TV, on the phone, you know. We look at all these articles because we're watchmen, you know. We're sitting upon that watchtower, you know. I spy with my little eye. The Lord's gonna bring a digital currency about, you know. You know, by way of, you know, Esau Edom, you know, him being his agent on the left hand side. So, digressing back, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's heavy, man. All right, here it is, man. These people out here showing love and compassion upon each other. All right, there's people out here that claim, all right, you're my brother and this and that. You're gonna be the same ones killing your own brother, man, backstabbing each other left and right. For what? Survival of the fittest. All right, for what? For what? Want of food. For what? Want of survival. For what? For garments, you know, for wearing clothes and warming yourself up. For what? You know, for homes. For what? For safety. You know. You're gonna see that by way of state wars, city wars, class wars, race wars, neighbors against neighbors. Or a lot of us play video games, right? But there's a video game called The Division 2. You know, that's a really spiritual game right there, you know, because it goes into the economic collapse of what apocalyptic America would look like. And you know, we are in an apocalypse right now. It's more of a dystopia, but apocalypse, man, because of these things that are happening. You know, these plagues, man. The Lord's torturing these places. You know, this place with these plagues, man. Alright, and at the end of the sun, Yahweh Shai is attacking Egypt again. This being spiritual Egypt. You know? So, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition meaning riots and uproars. Hey, believe that, man? It's right in front of your face, and you see that in these articles, man. Alright, these states, man, they wanna fight against the federal government. You know? They wanna fight against the federal government. That's gonna lead to martial law, a lot of lawlessness, man. But hey, that's part of the agenda. That's part of their agenda. It's part of Esau's agenda, first and foremost. A lot of the Edomites, you know, going along with this game, they don't know what's up, but the elites do, man, because they know this was gonna go down. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Alright, verse 17, point right here. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able to. Alright, whenever you hear military personnel talk about why martial law wouldn't be implemented soon, but it will be, it talk about how because your rights are nothing when they're deployed. You are the terrorists, man. You know, you better stay indoors while they're out there doing their marches. You better stay indoors, man. They're kicking the doors, making sure you're all safe in there, and if you're not in there, they're gonna do counts, this and that. If you're not in there, man, they're gonna touch you and kill you. Alright, you cannot just travel to another city like that, man. Alright, if they do it, it's gonna be a hell of a lot of questioning information to do. Checkpoints, you know. Alright, and these checkpoints are big, man. Alright, there's a video game called Slacken. Going back to the video game, the Division, the first game of it, because Division 2 is a sequel. The first one, there's a certain area called a dark zone, which is basically a lawless zone, which basically what will be America, you know, a real life dark zone. And these dark zones, man, the developers made it so that you could literally experience what an abandoned district, a zone would be like. You got these abandoned checkpoints of martial law. That's what it's gonna look like, man. Alright, checkpoints. The only thing is that they won't be abandoned. You know, paving the way for that standard being lifted. Just imagine that, man. Going against Esau toe to toe with that spiritual power, no hands. Alright, we're already fighting against these scriptures. Alright, as it says in the book of Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, verse 29. Is not my word as a fire, saith the Lord? Yes, it is, man. Alright, so going back to what it says, you know, Yahweh Shai said, I come to send the fire, kindle a fire upon this earth, man. If it be only paraphrasing right here, but if it be put out, you know, I forgot how the whole thing goes, but you know, he says that he's come here to put a fire. You see that by way of these scriptures, man. We're shaking that hand, and we're shaking that hand and shaking that mountain and moving it heads yonder. All right, you see that by way of wildfires as well. All right, Greece, you know, going back like 2 weeks ago, Caldor fires, 1 week ago, you know, these various fires and these scriptures, man. But you know, it's mainly for the destruction of America, you know, by way of thermonuclear destruction. But hey, man, a lot of things, man, a lot of power. And these scriptures, man, they are from a spiritual power as well, man. You know, you're also gonna be shooting out lasers and fire out of your hands, you know. It's crazy. You know, so I wanna get out the book of the second Ezra as well, but going down to the 9th chapter, going back, where it talks about I'm gonna start up at, what was it again? 3rd chapter. Yeah, Khan. Therefore, like, you know, these buses, man. I'm next to a bus stop, you know. All right, but verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people, and actually, I'm gonna start at verse 1. You know, at verse 1 actually, getting straight to the point. You know, to bring more explanation. You know, expounding the point. He answered, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And we are measuring the time diligently. It was like these brothers doing these reports, you know. We're telling you what's about to happen, what's about to go down, and what's nigh, what's at hand, you know. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halalim, La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we were given this understanding, man. A beautiful job we got. And when thou and Jake out here bugging out, man. Right. When thou seest part of the science past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right? The Lord is visiting this earth, man. And what Jake like to do out here, you know, is that they know what's going on. What we're preaching out, and they get all offended, so they freaking make noise so they won't hear. But so be it, man. John 15 and 18, you know. Hey, the walls hate you, you know that I hated me before, you know. So, when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, and other pieces backing that up about how he's visiting the earth which he made. All right, go into next chapters in the book of 2nd Ezra, or previous chapters, in other words, you know. Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and you go on right now on the internet, all you see are earthquakes this, earthquake that, you know. But anyways, Slacky, all right. Slacky, you know. What I do is sit down later. Oh damn, right. Well, then shall Slacky, when there shall be seen, yeah, and you go on the internet and you search up earthquakes, live earthquakes. You see a whole list, man, within the same hour, same day. That's crazy, man. Before it wasn't like that, but now it is, because these are the last days, you know. All right. Yeah, the same motorcycle that's out here back and forth. But, as Peter said, you know, as this is in the book of Timothy, the 3rd chapter, it talks about how in these last days, well, whenever Yahweh Shai left the scene, you know, when he was on the scene, those were the last days. But when he left the scene, when he went back up to the right hand of the Father, these were the last days, and it's been like that for 2 days straight. Which you know, 1,000 years is a day in the Lord's eyes, and a day 1,000 years. So 2,000 years have passed, you know, basically 2 days, and it's still the last days right here. You know, but it is the end of the last day. Alright, kind of difficult to explain, you know. Alright, but therefore when there should be certain earthquakes and uproars of the people, uproars meaning riots, you know, other words. If you hear people out here roaring, you know, against the government, and people in the world, then shalt thou will understand that the Most High spake of those things. By who? You know, the prophets, man. And they've been written down here in the scriptures, man. You know, it's like, yeah, I get lost. Most High spake of those things. Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as that is in the middle of the world, at the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. It is manifest, man. Alright, 2 Ezra 6 chapter verse 9. You know, but there's no salvation for Jake out here. There's no salvation for the Edomites, you know, all the heathen, you know. These damn devils, the rest of the heathen. Alright, Jake out here, they got no foreign, universal salvation. Alright, what does it say in 2 Ezra 6 chapter verse 56? People that also come of Adam, they are as nothing. You know? Hey man, but this is all prophecy, man. So going in the book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter, you know, going into how the Lord's ordaining this, man, because the Lord's really behind the scheme, you know, he's the one pulling the strings. He's the one pulling the strings of Esau, pulling the strings in the background. It's like a loop, you know. The book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter, verse 1. The king's heart is in that, and the king, you know, being these heathen, you know, these heathen kings, you know, the presidents and stuff, such and such. You know, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. The Lord does all these things, man. He's the one ordaining these things to go play, you know, coming to pass. All right, what happened with Biden? You know, the Lord did that. The Lord made Biden, you know, bring these new executive. You got new executive orders as well. All right, he brought that new mandate, but you got new executive orders for this month and October, the month of October by 31st, talking about how they're gonna stop, you know, with these draconian measures. Draconian, you know, you could consider the definition of it on the etymology, but hey, you know, they're passing new executive orders, which is most likely gonna happen. Talking about how the COVID rental slack. I can't believe I said the word. You know, yeah, but this video doesn't get deleted, but you know, they're talking about how Biden wants to you know, do away the COVID-19 rental assistance. You know, so people are here it's gonna be tent city all over the world. It's like all over the country, tent city. You got that in various parts of the country now. All right, LA as well. You know, Venice Beach. You know, tent city, because these moratorium evictions are happening. You know, but yeah, and not only that, but what's it called? If I remember correctly, you know, if you don't take that jab, they're also gonna you won't be qualified for Social Security, unemployment, I believe it was. Not Slovakia. Yeah, I believe it was that. You know, benefits. You know, certain things are coming to pass where basically the unjabbed man won't be able to get what they want. That's all in the hands of Yahweh Shemel Shai. He ordained that, you know, because the scriptures say the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Not only that, but a precept to that is the book of Isaiah, the 45th chapter. Verse 7. You know, and the people out here, they always say that who they ignorantly call the devil and Satan, Lucifer, you know, being some other deity, which really, that's just the orthodox doctrine, you know, to get you all in submission to their religion. You know, the damn devil, you know, as serpent is talking about Esau Edom. Lucifer, on the other hand, you know, it goes back to the word Luciferian, meaning light bearer. That means holding light, you know, being light bearing, you know, being illuminated. The word stating, you know, the son of Yahweh Ba'Shem will shine on the left hand side. You can read about that in the book of Job, the 1st chapter. You know, how he came along, you know, with the sons of Yahweh, which are the angels in that case, because the sons of Yahweh could either refer to them or the 144,000, like, you know, the Israelite man. You know, because the 144,000 actually, first and foremost, you know, it's like, so Isaiah 45th, you know, because the Lord does all these things, man. The Lord does the evil and the good. So verse 7, I form the light and create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things, man. And that's straight to the point right there, man. The Lord does all these things, man. So he wants Jake to die, man, that's okay, man, because the scriptures say, man, the wages of sin are death. You know, it literally is, man. People out here saying, oh, peace be unto you, my prayers are with you. Scriptures say, man, the Lord doesn't hear a prayer. The prayer of a sinner is an abomination unto his ears. And as scriptures say in Jeremiah, and repeatedly, man, right? Because in the book of Jeremiah, certain scriptures are repeated over and over again. or as in that we're praying out for this people, man. Either make intercession for them. Alright, because you know the Lord, they rejected the Lord's gonna reject them as well. And there's another scripture talking about how it's laugh now, cry later situation. Alright, that's the humor of the Lord as well. You know, the Lord wants to, you know, that's what the Lord does. You know, Jake wanna play, they get to play, you know. But and it's funny, man, because we're out here prophesying, you know. Yeah, nasty Jake out there, just bugging the hell out. But I just want to get that point, man. But along with a few other last scriptures out here to close on. It's the Apocrypha. You know, which the scriptures do approve of the Apocrypha, man. Looking into the history of it, it was only recently taken out. It was only taken out recently. Right, and these people are out here bugging out. You know, they say, no it isn't, no it isn't. Yet they're the same people to believe in pseudepigraphas, which we all know the word pseudo means fake. Epigrapha, you know, pseudepigrapha together is basically the forgotten books, as they call it. You know, forgotten books, which really they're just made up by Amalekites. Looking at the history of it, they're all made by so-called Jewish, which the ish is a suffix meaning close to it, because they really are, because they're Hebrews and they're our brothers, you know. That's why scriptures go on and say when they refer to the curse of the people, which are the Edomites, they say, because thou shalt have perpetual hatred upon thy brother, you know, because they're supposed to be brothers, man. But amen to the wicked, we're the righteous, you know. Thou shalt have perpetual hatred upon thy brother Jacob, therefore shall the Lord do with thee, for thou hast like you're really paraphrasing right there. Digressing back, and you usually don't have this, man. You usually don't have this many traffic right here in this city, but Slovakia, I was gonna get out Sirach. I'm all over the place, Slovakia. I mean, you have to realize this, man. As we were saying, the wisdom of Solomon, you know, the Lord's sovereign over all. He's the one in control of everything. All right, so Sirach, the 12th chapter. It's really windy, so I fear Yahweh Hazah, I think, was according to plan, you know. So the book of Sirach, the 12th chapter. My notes, checking my notes out. What was it? Yeah, the book of Sirach, the 12th chapter, verse 6. The Most High hated sinners. And see, man, this totally debunks that theory of the Lord loving the sinner and hating the sin, because the Lord hates both sin and sinner. You know, Jake out there that take this jab and ultimately will take that charagma. You know, they're sinners, man, because that's a transgression against the Most High, which is why in the book of Revelation it talks about how out of the 14th chapter, I believe it was, talking about how they shall taste the indignation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Alright, because they took that mark, you know. Right now it's a deciding point. You either stick with Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, or you side with this damn devil who could own. He don't want to help you, man. Alright, it's a damn lie. That's what you're saying. Psalm 58, verse 3, as I got out. You know, he as soon as he coming out of the womb, he's estranged coming out of the womb, and he'd be born speaking lies. So they paraphrasing him at that, because that's how he's created. That's how he was created, man. But verse 6 again, the Most High hated sinners and will repay vengeance to the ungodly. You guys are ungodly, which ungodly goes with the word wicked. You guys are wicked. The Lord will repay his vengeance upon you, Jake, out there, you know, because you guys took this. You guys gonna take that thing. You guys gonna take the Marcus Holloway, and you guys ultimately took that Crown Vicky jab, you know. So I'm gonna read the whole thing again. For the Most High hated sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. You know, and an example of that is what's that one dude? I forget his name, but Slovakia. Yeah, there's you had this gay ass nigga out here, you know. I forgot his name. I believe it's Bill. I forget. But you know, he spoke about some brothers did videos on him, but it turns out that he revealed that he had HIV since 2007. He should have died a long time ago. But the Lord, the reason why the Lord, you know, prevented him from dying is because he's ultimately saving that took ass nigga for that fire. You know, that's an example right there. And keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. You know, as the scriptures say, no sin shall go unpunished. You know, it could be, hey, it could be to the point where the Lord, like, I gotta take this. Could be to the point where the Lord wants you to heal someone. You know, He wants you to heal someone. Or that's why it says in I think what Shai said in the book of John, 14th chapter, verse 12. He that believes on me shall do greater works, because it could be to the point where the Lord may ordain it for someone to take that job, but He wants us to heal them if we get that spiritual power, which is how we do, you know. So John the 15th chapter, or 14th Salakia, and verse 15. Alright, I'm almost done. Salakia. So like I got the wrong one, but hey, good point right here. If you let me keep my commandments, you know, that's a major hit right there. You know, for Jacob there, because you claim to love the Most High. The scriptures say, man, they honor me with their lips, but their works are far from me. You know, their heart is far from me, because they don't do the works that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But if you love them, you know, keep His commandments. All right, so I believe it was the 15th chapter, verse 14. So lucky, it was John 14 and 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, so lucky, the book of St. John, chapter 14, verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. See, so the Lord, you know, gives the power to Yahweh Shai, and ultimately Yahweh Shai is going to give us the power, you know, from Him. Anyways, I hope this video was edifying. We continue to push. First and foremost, so I like to give out praises. First and foremost, I like to give out praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Habrachah Kodash. Our double honor to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us 200% truth. Much peace and blessings to you. Hopefully, like that, they're preaching out this word without truth and sincerity. And Shalom.